Journalist Rachel Johnson, Talk TV contributor Paula Rowan-Adrian, associate editor at The Mirror Kevin Maguire, and the author and historian Sir Anthony Selden. So a fantastically high-powered panel tonight. Sir Anthony, let me start with you. Purely kind of constitutionally, historically, is it even possible to wrestle the titles away from them?
Well, I'm sure it is, Piers. The question is it all worth it? And is it going to be what they want because it just makes them more out to be victims of these hateful, exploitative people in Buckingham Palace? Wouldn't it just be better just to let them be forgotten and not to react? Because by reacting, by doing this, the Bob Seely idea, I think it just makes them into victims, gives them even more publicity. There they are over all the world's headlines again as people... There must be some truth, surely, in what they're both saying. And I think that is not the right way to handle it. They're both clearly two very, very damaged people. They need help. I don't think they need stripping their royal titles.
See, I would question that. I would say they're very damaging people. I'm not saying they haven't been through damage.
They're that too, Piers.
But I think they've set out to be deliberately damaging to the royal family and the monarchy. They've taken hundreds of millions of dollars to do it. It is unprecedented in history for two renegade royals to go off and enrich themselves, making money out of targeting the royal family, isn't it? We've never seen this before.
It's not almost unprecedented, Piers. It is unprecedented for two members of the royal family deliberately to set out to hurt, harm, belittle, besmirch the monarch and the wife of the heir to the throne. That's unprecedented. Of course it's damaging, but of course the damaging action comes out of damaged people. The question is, I think, just what's the best way to do it? And I think, the best way to deal with it is not to give them the oxygen of even more entitlement to the claim of being victims.
OK, Rachel Johnson, your view.
Well, Sir Anthony, as ever, as an eminent historian, has put the argument for killing with kindness. And don't give the grifters any more grist to the mill.
But the grifters make most of their money because they have royal titles.
Of course
the American business model collapses if they're just plain Harry and Meghan. Not immediately, but it would over time. If they can't slap all over all their correspondence that they're the Duke and Duchess, it disappears.
Possibly, that remains to be seen. We do not know that. It could definitely give them another leg on their, grievance tour. I want to know, Bob Seely, who is the liege man of life and limb, who's, withdrawn the flaming scabbard to defend the monarchy, and he's inserted this bill, this private members bill, which is called something like the Disinheritance of Titles Bill 1917. It must be in your notes.
Yeah.
So my question
is... And just to be clear, it's been used before to remove the titles of His Royal Highness Charles Edward, Duke of Albany, Earl of Clarence, Baron Arklow, His Royal Highness Ernest Augustus, the Duke of Cumberland, and Teviot Dale, and Earl of Armagh, and so on. This has been used a lot.
But wasn't it mainly used to strip Germans of their titles in 1917? But the curious irony is, if you took the title Duke of Sussex away from Prince Harry, he'd be Harry Mountbatten, which is a German surname. Anyway, so I'm sure he wouldn't like it. I think, so the question is, who has the right to strip these royals of their titles? Is it the House of Commons or is it the Queen? She took away Princess Diana's HRH, which caused Princess Diana...
Which I campaigned for her not to do, by the way.
Huge upset and hurt. That was a terrible wound for Princess Diana. This would no doubt be a terrible wound for Harry and Meghan, because the royals, their titles is who they are.
But the difference about Diana was she never attacked the monarchy. She had her issues with her ex-husband. But I campaigned at the Mirror to stop her HRH being taken away, because I knew how much it hurt her, because she told me, and because it was only taken away because she was deemed to no longer be married to Charles, right? But she didn't attack the monarchy, Paula. And here's the difference between what Diana used to do and what these two are doing. It's their deliberate diminishing and the relentless attacks on the family and the monarchy that I really find offensive now. And I don't understand why, if you're going to attack the institution this much and you hate the family this much, why would you want to, A, stay a member of that family, or B, keep titles bestowed on you by the monarchy and the family?
I appreciate that you find it personally offensive, Piers, but shall I tell you what I find concerning? That in this discussion about racism, we know that the institution has issues. We know that in 2021, we were supposed to see the appointment of a diversity czar, and I'm still waiting for that appointment.
What is a diversity czar?
Well, we can discuss that another day. Let
it's
me
a
finish.
ludicrous title,
well,
isn't
Piers,
it?
this is important. This is important.
The royal family employ a lot more non-white people
You
than
don't want to hear it,
Well,
Piers,
hang on.
do you?
You
don't want to hear.
It's a fact that they employ a lot more non-white people than they used to. Right? It's also a fact they remain
Piers,
exclusively white, other than the Meghan Markle part of it, because they're all a white family.
Piers, don't shut me down on this point, because this is important for us to
You're
discuss.
distracting away from the alleged racism in this story. Trevor Phillips, who ran the big...
Do you see what's happening here?
No, I'm asking you a question about this particular topic.
I haven't finished answering your first
You're
question.
talking about other things.
I'm not talking about other things. I'm talking about exactly what you're referencing, the allegation of racism, and why it's important for for society as a whole, for us to see that the institution is dealing with this. And I'm saying to you, where is the diversity czar?
What racism?
That we were...
What racism?
Where is the diversity czar that we were told was going to be appointed in
There's a
2021?
diversity
We were
czar.
told that this was such an important thing and that it was going to happen.
Where's the racism,
because
Paula?
of the concerns...
Paula, where is the racism?
Because of the concerns that Meghan had.
but
That's what was
what
reported.
concerns?
Secondly...
She didn't even hear it.
We've also
She
had
didn't even hear it.
reports...
And by the way, she thought it happened when she was pregnant. Harry said it happened before they got engaged.
Shouting
Which
me
one
down
is it?
is not going
No,
to
you're
change the
talking
fact that
nonsense.
I'm concerned. So we also have reports, don't we, about issues in relation to how the institution approaches the concerns about racism.
What racism?
We've had unfortunate
Paula, what
stories
racism?
where I accept there was an apology, but
What
it
racism?
left a concern, didn't it, when, for example, Princess Markle attended the dinner wearing
I'm talking about
her
Charles
brooch
and Kate.
that caused
Do you honestly
upset.
believe
we
that
know,
Charles
we
and
know
Kate
about
were
the
racist
issue,
about that baby's
We know
skin
about
colour?
the issue in relation
Why are
to
you
how
ignoring every question I'm asking
Lady
you?
Hussey and how that was dealt with.
All right.
And what I'm saying to you is that there are concerns that have been raised. And it
Oh,
seems,
we know about the
and
concerns
and it
that were raised.
seems to be
What I haven't seen
that
is
we
any
want
evidence.
to deflect those concerns
you're
by
deflecting.
pouring hatred on Harry and Meghan.
No, they're the ones...
That's what this is about. This is about hatred of Harry and Meghan.
How could you pour more hatred over people than these two, who for 4 years have poured hatred on their family and the monarchy, and who did it by sparking a racism row on Oprah Winfrey in front of 50 million people, where they made allegations of racism and then tried to pretend they hadn't. They've never produced any evidence. I mean, Kevin, this is my issue with this whole thing, and it does incense me that we are trying to deal with a story which at the heart of it, I don't think there's even a story. I don't think this ever happened. As Trevor Phillips said, at worst, what we may be dealing with is that someone in the royal family, Charles, Kate, whoever, may have said, I wonder what colour the baby might be. That's not racism.
No.
When you have a mixed race relationship, it's what every mixed race relationship family would ask themselves.
Why do we keep leaving out the word concerns? Why
yeah.
do we keep leaving that word out?
Because what are the concerns?
I read Trevor Phillips' account because he's a black Briton who's long campaigned against racism. There are problems with the institution, but Meghan Markle's evidence wouldn't stand up in court because it was hearsay. It's something she said.
Racism allegations often don't.
No, but it's hearsay. She hasn't heard it directly. But of course they should be stripped of those titles. And I think Harry's grandmother, the Queen, made a mistake, not taking them away. I think his father, Charles, now the King, has made a mistake, not taking them away. They said they wanted to start a new life.
Yeah.
But that new life actually requires them to have those titles.
Correct.
Because their meal ticket is trashing the royal family.
I'm intrigued
Now,
that
look,
the
failure
wasn't in about talking. The failure wasn't in about resolving the problem.
What I love
failure
is that
is gripping.
you still believe there was racism. When even Trevor Phillips said it's obviously nonsense.
Be very careful. I have never said that I could believe it because I don't know.
Right.
So we need to be very careful.
You don't think it should be incumbent on those who made the allegations to actually say what happened? Why are they silent in the last week?
I think what's intriguing is that you have asked them to be silent for so long and now you are demanding that they speak. If they do speak...
I'm demanding that they clarify why their author,
with
the boy
answer.
they cooperated with on the last book,
Piers,
why he's
you
able
will
to
not let me
name
answer.
Harry's father, right, and his sister-in-law as two racists, and they say nothing. They say nothing.
Do you think that if you continue to shout me down...
I think you've got to answer some questions, Paula. At some stage,
if you allowed me to...
You literally are behaving like a politician.
If you allowed me to. If you allowed me to. The fact is, should they respond to this? Absolutely they should respond to this. Should King Charles and Kate have an opportunity to respond to it? Absolutely. Do you know what I would like to see in terms of a response? I would like to see a joint response. I would like them to come together and send out a joint response.
They don't talk to each other.
Well, then they need to find somebody who does.
Then
they need to find somebody who does, because this isn't unusual, Piers. The fact that this is a fallout in a family is not unusual.
Meghan Markle.
Yes, racial.
Kevin wants them to be stripped of their titles. Bob Seely wants them to be stripped of their titles.
I want them to be stripped of their titles.
You do. The fact remains that you could strip them of the title Duke and Duchess of Sussex, but you cannot remove the fact that he is a prince of the blood.
You can stop
he is
calling
the
him
son
a
of the
prince.
king.
You can't stop calling him a title.
No, I don't think you can.